Hello and welcome to another episode of Jacob's House of Rock. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how I go about building my very first pedal board. So, for a little while now I've been looking around and trying to find lots of ideas of what to use as a pedal board, because like a pedal train or one of those actual, metal ones that people use, they're very expensive and I find they're just overpriced for what they are really, which is just flat slats that are slightly raised in order to have pedals on them. And that's where this thing came in. So a little while ago I was with my girlfriend in Target down in the city, my centre, Brisbane, and we found this bamboo bath mat, which is the perfect size and just all-out shape for a pedal board. And it only costs like $20, which I guess I still think is a bit much for this, but since it's just so perfect for what it is for a pedal board and much more affordable than a pedal train or something like that, that's what I'll be using as my pedal board. So it sits just a little bit above the ground, which is perfect. I have all your cables running under, and it measures 35 by 50 centimeters, which is great for, a medium, I guess pretty large, but some people have much larger, so I'm going to say like a big medium size sort of pedal board. And it's got the nice gaps here for the wires to go through. Unfortunately, the only problem with this one is that when you have your jumper cables, you can't really get them through this thing to like go under. That's the only issue with this thing. Otherwise, it's really perfect for what we're going to be doing today. So aside from just using this thing, I'll just show you a little clip of where I found it in the store. Found this in another pretty useful video where somebody didn't want to have the sticky glue residue on the back of their pedals if they wanted to, sell them again afterwards, and putting Velcro on the back of a pedal will, you have to rip off the rubber on some of these pedals, and it's just not the best thing. So what they did is they removed the back plate. And what I did is I remove the back plate, cover the pedal in paper, a thin layer of paper, so you can obviously close it. So be mindful when you're doing this to not layer over too many bits of paper and tape. And yeah, after you put the paper on, you just wrap it tightly in the tape, and then you have a nice strong barrier that does not stick to the pedal in any way if you were to cut it off. And you can glue on your Velcro on the back of this. Also be mindful to leave holes for the screws and such things. And yeah, so I did that to all of these. It took a very long time, but I'd say it's definitely worth it. But what I'm gonna do now is gonna prep all the Velcro. So here it is, 3 packs, a meter in each pack, like I said. So you get 2 sides. One is the, I believe they're called the loops. It's like the soft fuzzy side. And the other part's the hook, which is the hard sort of prickly side with, the actual hook-shaped hard plastic little bits. And what you want to do is, I've researched it, and the consensus is that you have the soft fuzzy side, the loops, down on the actual pedal board, and the harder, scratchy side on the bottom of the pedals. So what I'm going to do is just going to measure out the exact sort of pretty much the length that I'm going to want to have this on. I'm going to want it to just go down the middle of each slat here and I want it to be almost right up to the edge, but not sticking over at all, just so it doesn't peel up. So maybe I'll leave like a couple of millimeters. So what I will do, I'll just cut down the middle of these two strips to separate the different types, and then I'll measure out how much of the fuzzy one we need. So it'll be roughly half of this thing. There we go. Put the scratchy side away for now, and we'll use the fuzzy one. So run that as flat as you can, right down the middle. Actually, I'll have it around this way, just to leave a little bit of space. So that'll be marked about here. And just simply cut it. There's two. And now I'll just repeat this process for the rest of the slats, and I'll cut back for you guys. Alright, so I've got all these bits cut, and I've got all, and I've started to cut out some other little bits just to put on some of these smaller petals here of the hook side. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to put these bits on some of the petals first, just because they're smaller little bits, and I kind of, since I'm doing this for the first time, I'll get a better feeling for how much heat to put on these things and how the glue reacts and everything. So I'm going to start off with this reverb petal here. So I've got my piece of Velcro ready, and I'm going to just peel it off. So there's that nice glue right there, and I'm just gonna, sorry about some of the noise, by the way. There's people mowing grass outside anyway, but there's gonna be a little more noise in a sec, because I'm gonna use this to heat up this bit of glue here. That should be hot enough. Whoa. So that seems to have stuck down with no problem whatsoever. There we go. So there's our first petal, nice and ready. Okay, so I've got some of my smaller petals done here, and now I'm gonna attempt to do this. So I'm not really sure where to start. I'm probably just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna just stick down one side, heat it as I go, and just go across. That might work. And slowly just peel the backing off. So we'll just start like this. Again, this is the first time I've done this, so I might do it very poorly. So, you know, do as I say, not do as I do in this case. So, just try to center that roughly. And that seems to be working nicely, so I'll just do that across this whole board, lifting it up bit by bit, and then tacking it down really, really tight. making sure that last little bit is tacked down really well. You know what? That seems to work good. We just put a petal on. That's sticking. Nice. Alright, so I'm gonna do that for the rest of this board. Alright guys, so here it is, all glued on. It took quite a while, and I think I got some blisters on my fingers from the heat and just pressing down really hard, but it looks a lot better than I expected it would actually. It looks really cool, it looks quite professional actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly test a couple of petals on this, see if they stick and how it looks, and then we'll get to actually arranging my final arrangement and getting the bigger petals all velcroed up. So just got a couple little ones, we'll just stick them around like there, see how this looks and how it goes. So there's a couple of petals. Let's see. Are they gonna fall off? I'm shaking it pretty hard. The tuna's wobbling, but that's just because the backing tape that I did with the tape and the paper isn't fully over one side here, because it had to fit in a bit for the the power supply, so the plate wouldn't close. But it works. That works. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add Velcro to all these petals that I'm going to put on, and the power supply, which is going to probably be like here, and I've got these little bits that go into the power supply, and they're going to come in from under the pedal board like so, and they have this nice 90-degree turn, which would be nice to have on both sides of this cable, but unfortunately only has on one. But it does mean that they can kind of, once you put this on, they can kind of just fall in really nicely and neatly into the hole here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing now. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got it all done. It's all finished, all wired up together. All it needs is just the guitar input into here, then it goes out through all these pedals into the tuner, that goes out into the front of the amp, and then we just have the send and the return from the effects loop going into these two pedals. So that's it, and you know, overall I'm really happy with this project. So it looks a lot more professional than I expected, and I'm just for my first pedal board, I think I did a pretty good job. Obviously, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you have any suggestions and tips of what else I could do and anything else I can do to improve this? I'm actually thinking maybe of installing some handles or something on it just to help with transporting it or whatever. Maybe making a bag to hold it in to protect the pedals during transport and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I'm actually off now to test this thing out and yeah, just give it a good workout and see how it all runs and how it looks and all that. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I love it when you guys do that. And yeah, just keep on rocking and peace out, people. Bye.